All right, you guys, we are getting ready to talk about autoimmune and infection in about 3 minutes. It's going to be right here. So excited to share that with you. And we are going to really share some great information about Lyme disease, about Epstein-Barr, about bacterial infections, and it's all coming right here. And it's the autoimmune myth that we have all been told. So let me just get this one up here. Okay. Of course, here we go. All right, you guys, this is where we're at here. Okay. Wonderful. We got 2 minutes. Let us get ready to rock and roll. Autoimmune and Lyme disease coming up in about 2 minutes here. Okay. So many people have this condition, and literally we're just waiting for 5:30 to roll around. We're going to be talking about literally, it's not the bacteria or the virus that causes all of these problems. I mean, you think it is, and that's what we've all been told, but that's really not what it is. It's actually things that are attacking your body and making it so that you can't be healthy. That's the autoimmune myth that everybody's been told. That is the one where it's so frustrating to hear from people. Hey, my doctor says that my body doesn't like itself and it's attacking my joints and it's attacking my nerves and it's attacking my thyroid and it's attacking my joints and my stomach and my skin. Well, there's more to it than that. There's a bigger story that we're going to do. Okie dokie. All right, just about 60 seconds, you guys, and then we are going to talk about right here why we get sick and what to do about it. We're going to also be sharing with hidden secrets to curing your chronic disease and not feel left out. Hidden secrets to daily living. So I've written a couple books. This one just got published today. I'm so excited. We have a little launch that's coming out. You can get this book for free. Why we get sick and what to do about it. All right, so everyone, what we're going to be sharing with this group tonight is what if your body isn't attacking itself? And literally what is so fun is to share with everybody, look, this paper. Okay, so this paper right here says that the role of chronic bacterial and viral infections causes neurobehavioral, neurodegenerative, psychiatric, autoimmune, and fatiguing illness. So literally, guys, it's this simple. Look, your body is not attacking itself. I don't believe in what they'd say is autoimmune. Now, I believe that there can be a component they're associated with if you got an organ transplant, that your body can attack the organ. But in so many cases, like I've seen this happen for 25 years of being in practice myself and growing up inside of a clinic system where my dad was constantly helping people that were been told, you have autoimmune hepatitis and you have Hashimoto's disease and you have Sjogren's disease and you have ankylosing spondylitis and rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. All of these different things, I think that there's one common variable in this process. And the variable literally is this. It's not the bug that's making you sick. It's the terrain. So if you've been told that you have an autoimmune disease, but deep down it just doesn't make any sense, and fighting it has been overlooked, is literally, this is the missing piece. This is what is wrong with the body. And this, I want to share with you literally what just came out, like literally off the presses today, why we get sick and what to do about it. And this just has the thing. Let me share with you. Illness has a pattern. Too many people are stuck in systems that medicate the symptoms. They aren't fixing it. We believe that sickness isn't random. There has to be something that went off the rails. There's something that has to be out of balance. And so that's what we wanted to share, and to give people a big dose of vitamin H. And in the vitamin H, you guys, let me share with you what it looks like here. And the vitamin H is this. It's not just me saying it. You'll look right here. This is our blog where we have helped a lot of people beating the disease. The last time I did a quick thing to talk about autoimmune disorders, we had 81 testimonials of people that were out of hope and out of time and out of symptoms, out of options. And then we put it back together. So like Brandy's story right here, where she was saying, look, Dr. West, here's what happened. It's not the final answer. And especially when the healthcare providers will tell people, hey, guess what? You have all the characteristics of chronic infection, of autoimmune disease, but we don't see some of the markers, or you're not responding to a biologic or an immunomodulator or some of these other medicines that reduce inflammation. But here's something that's really important for everybody to be aware of. You have to have some inflammation to heal. Like the body turns on the signaling process, and it says, we've got to have a fever, we've got to have some redness, we've got to have some swelling to literally bring in the immune system. So literally that's this graphic right here. And literally we have some things that we have to get into the cells, to get the injured cells out, to target the bad cells, and then literally to get the good things in there. All of that's part of your immune system and your inflammatory process. So in the medical world, when they say, hey, you have an autoimmune disorder, it's not. What I would love to say, like, let me show you a pathway and show you results and show you people that have done really, really well in putting their body back together. I mean, another one of my really favorite ones here is Greg's story, and you can see that right here, where literally if someone had been sick for years, eye problems, skin problems, joint problems, horrible venous problems, brain fog, just no energy and stamina at all, and how he put it all back together. And again, what I'm sharing with everybody is literally this paper that, look, if you'll comment, research in here, I'm happy to, I want to send you this story. Now, I jokingly around tell people, say, look, it's kind of like Revelations or Isaiah in the Bible. Like, there's some gold in there, but you got to dig for it. But literally, as I start flipping through this, neurodegenerative disease, multiple sclerosis. Now, I believe that multiple sclerosis is an infection that attacks the nerve. The body walls it off. It makes this hard thing. As the signals hit that heart, it spreads out and goes different places. Parkinson's disease, autism spectrum disorders can be aggravated by chronic infection. By the way, the chronic infection can be Lyme disease, chlamydia pneumoniae, mycoplasma, herpes simplex 1, 6, and 7, and other bacterial and viral infections had a really high percentage rate in causing cyclic mood disorders, autoimmune disorders, neuropsychiatric movement disorders. So we have twitches and things like that. It's interrupting the nerve supply. Guillain-Barré syndrome, Lyme disease, chronic fatigue, and myalgic encephalitis, which is basically an inflamed nervous system. And it's causing all of these different conditions. And so what I wanted to share with people is this. The common conditions linked with chronic infection are literally right here. And what they are is multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue, ALS, fibromyalgia, psychiatric disorders, anxiety, depression, cyclic mood disorders, when your nerves start to break down. And these had a lot higher rates than found in healthy individuals. And what we call autoimmune is really a chronic infection. And that's the secret is, look, we've got to get the body back to a state where these infections, like we have a picture of a chameleon here because literally it adapts to whatever the terrain is. These infections hide inside the cells. They change their shape. They alter the cell structure. They alter immune system signaling. And basically prevents the body from communicating with each other. So Mycoplasma, Borrelia, Chlamydia pneumoniae, which is a bacteria associated with respiratory problems, cardiovascular disease, and the most common virus that we're seeing so often, Epstein-Barr virus. So I literally think that there's about 100% of the population that's been exposed to this virus. And a lot of people have no conditions or no immune problems at all. You know what happens to other people is they're wrecks. They're so tired, and their spleen swells up and their lymph node swells up, and literally they cannot get enough rest. They're constantly tired. And that's because the immune system is trying to take all of this energy just to survive against this virus. And then the herpes simplex virus 6, they can remain dormant in the body, and then they come out and they just suck. It's like a plug-in extension cord into people. They just suck the life out. So knowing this, the real issue is not the bug, it's the disease. Okay, the difference between someone who gets sick and someone who doesn't isn't luck. It's biology, and I absolutely believe there's a genetic component to it. Now, being a father of 5 children, there's no way that I would want to have a lesser quality of life for my offspring. What happens is sometimes we get genetic perfect storm from mom, genetic from dad, and what it does is it comes together, and it literally is like we're winning the reverse lottery. By the way, this happens so often in couples that come into the office. One couple is fine, or one half of the couple is fine. The other one is like they're eating the same foods. Obviously, they're touching, kissing, relations, and everything else. One is made out of super glue. They're this warrior of a mean, green fight machine, and the other person just has to do every single thing just to stay in the fight and just to function. And I say, look, it's not much the environment, it's the environment and your genetics on top of it. Look, when we strengthen the terrain, immune system, balanced hormones, efficiency, cellular signaling, controlled inflammation, infections lose their power, and health begins when we strengthen the terrain inside of a treatment plan. And by the way, the treatment plan is right here, but let me give you some 5 rules of health. This is a bonus for our life. The 5 rules of health are this. If you can't sleep, you can't heal. And so many times with chronic infection, it turns people into vampires. They're exhausted during the day, and they can't sleep at night. Then you got to have enough water. It really is such an underrated medicine. Look, water is such a highlight of and such an important part of life. It's lubrication, it's waste removal, it gets the muscles to function, it protects your brain. There was a study that showed that people that were off 2% of their ideal hydration had up to a 30% impact on their nervous system. So I'm 200 pounds, divided by 2, I should be drinking 100 ounces of water. If I drank 90 or 95, I thought I was doing a really good job. And really what I was doing is my brain could be off as much as 30%. So we have sleep, water, healthy and alive foods, our movement patterns, like are we active? Are we creative? Are we engaged with our environment? Like, are you walking around? Are you doing gardening? Are you exercising? Are you doing a hobby that you love? Like that is where so much life force comes from. I mean, when we help people to engage in something that sets their soul on fire, it's phenomenal. And then the last thing, our most important asset. So water, clean water, food, movement, and their most important asset is how we talk to ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. So when we do that, now we're following the rules, and then we build on it these systems here. So IV vitamin infusion therapy, that's literally in our book, like why we get sick and what to do about it. And then in the book that I wrote, my bestseller a couple years ago, one of the things that I tell everybody, like, look, here is a really good plan or an outline, and it's everything that I was telling you. Sorry, it's chapter 9. And what the plan is, the Hidden Secrets plan, is we just want to help you to realize, okay, where is the barrier to healing? What can we do to put balance in place and help you to not live your life down here, but live it up here? So we do nerve reset therapy. And the nerve reset therapy, literally, it helps your nerves go open and close and reboot. It's amazing treatment that comes from Europe, and it's about hyperpolarizing, depolarizing, and repolarizing the nerves. We can also use a specially signaling molecule system called peptide therapy. And peptide therapy occurs when literally we have these short chains of amino acids go up and they knock on the door opens and the signaling molecule comes in. And then like a really popular peptide, or at least well-known peptide, is insulin. Like if we can't get dietary breakdown of energy, sugar, into the cell, what happens is the cells die and then we die. And then over here on some of the advanced approaches of oxidative medicine, look, when we use ozone, hydrogen peroxide therapy, hydrogen therapy, water therapy, hydration, look, when oxygen is the final electron acceptor and electron transport chain, a biochemical process, the byproducts are water, carbon dioxide, and energy. When we run out of that process, the byproducts lead us into a systemic state of acidosis and very inefficient energy production. And then we have these chemical messengers that talk to each other. They're called hormones, right? We have the pituitary that tells the thyroid what to do. The thyroid tells the heart what to do. We have this beautiful, complicated, and very simple health system where 70 hormones cruising around about calcium, about minerals, about fluids, about growth hormone, about adrenaline, about epinephrine, about blood sugar, and it has to be in concert. And so many times what happens is we just look at, the allopathic medical world, we just look at one signaling molecule. And the one signaling molecule, it's just like from the pituitary to thyroid, oh, your TSH off, that means your thyroid's off. Let's just give you thyroid medicine. There's so much more to it than that. And then strategic supplements, literally, where we're looking at, is it liver, is it kidney, is it detox pathways, is it lung function, is it your lymph nodes? And as we help to get those to advance, what happens is we get really good outcomes. So right here, 5 rules of health. I'm just going to reiterate: eat right, sleep well, move every day, manage stress, stay connected, healthy and alive foods. I just had a patient today that was in the office saying, look, I've lost control. I feel overwhelmed. I've got aging parents. I've got kids that are having kids. I've got grandkids. I'm connected with my community, and my church asked me to do things, and I don't feel well. I feel like it's overwhelming. And I said, what you're describing to me, I hear what you say, but what you mean is I'm giving up my power. And so one of the most important things that I tell people is, look, you need to reclaim that by putting the most important person in your life back in control. And that's you. You are the most important person. Now, I'm married. I have children. I have parents. I have nieces, nephews, cousins, brothers, sister-in-laws. Like, all of those are important. But if I'm not my best version of myself, I can't influence and impact and create an experience for those people that are in my ecosystem. So what does that mean? Like self-care. I encourage the patient, look, let's just start with 15 minutes. You have got to carve out 15 minutes and put it in your schedule every day. This is what I would tell anybody with a chronic health problem. And then when people ask you, hey, Dr. West, I need you to come at this time, you say, I can't come. I have an appointment. Or I can't do that. I have an appointment. I can't serve on this board, or I can't do this project, or I can't go to this event because I have a pre-existing event with the most important person in my life. Now, you don't really say the last part, but that's you. You've got to put some parameters on and protect you. It's such an important part of the health process. So we have some really fun stories that I wanted to share with you. When I say stories, really fun. If you want to get inspired, if you want to literally use someone else's owner's manual to help you, go over and check this out. I'll put the links in the description of the video. It's the westcliniconline.com, and you could go into the blog posts. And what happens is we have so many people that are just like you that are beating their disease and have beaten their disease. And by the way, it's not completely over. You know, Serene's story right here on the bottom is, you know, what happens when they have an accidental removal of some of the tissue. and we have bone-on vorsis, and we have Brandon's disease, chronic infection, Lyme disease, and we have Stephen's story of circulation and Raynaud's disease, and and literally Charity beating cancer, and Courtney beating stomach pain, and Sally beating, like, the reason why I do these stories is because I want people to understand you're not your diagnosis. What we want to do is to create a system where we change the terrain and we make a better system so that you're not your diagnosis, which is literally this right here. You're not what they told you that you are. You might have that problem that's going on in your system, whether it is an autoimmune type umbrella, or it's Epstein-Barr, or it's MRSA, or it's E. coli. And what we want to do is we want to fix you. We fix the host, then we change the story. And that's why I feel it's so important. I used to get really frustrated with people that they get something wrong, they immediately go get aspirin, or they get Tylenol, or they get acetaminophen, and then they have liver or kidney problems later, or we just run for the quick fix. But what I really found out, and that's the motivation behind this channel and this process, is the client and the consumer that's educated on their options. I feel that they make really good options. A lot of people just aren't aware that there's some really neat, long-standing therapies of witch hazel, of apple cider vinegar, of magnesium, and the right kind of magnesium, and making sure that we have the right calcium balance in the body, and using herbs like golden seal and burdock, and that chemical that comes out of onions called allicin, and the Native American herbs like lomatium, and these beautiful ones that everybody knows about. Vitamin C is my favorite medicinal therapy because it donates electrons to the body. It charges you up. And vitamin E helps with cardiovascular concerns and really helps new tissue. And vitamin A protects your mucous membranes. And vitamin B2 is good for your eyes. And B5 is your feel good. It helps to convert stored fat to energy. And B6 is a natural anti-inflammatory. And B12 calms down your nerves. There's so many people just aren't aware of nature's prescriptive therapy. Now, if you would like to work with us, or you want to know more information and go faster, you can literally go over to here. It's called America's Healer, and we have a complimentary evaluation that you can fill out, and we help people across the street and across the country. Now, I didn't put this message together so that you would necessarily work with us, because there's great healers all over the place. I just want to inspire you to find one. And if you need help, you can find us. We work with healers. We have a virtual program, and we have a lot of people that come here. And today I have people in the office from Florida, from Texas, of course, from Idaho, Utah, Washington, and Canada, that we literally help them change their life. So that's what the message is of this is. We want you to recognize you're not your diagnosis. I have some wonderful resources I'd love to share with you. Hidden Secrets to Curing Your Chronic Disease. Also, our new book just got published today, Why We Get Sick and What to Do About It. All right, now I have a couple people on here. Hey, cool glasses. Thanks. I like to change things up. I got red, I got yellow, of course I got black, I got clear, but I'm digging the yellow glasses. I see Bullock 155, you want some research. So if you will send, actually, we'll get this out. We'll see it in here. Here it is right here. This is the paper that I think is one of the most important papers that I've read in 25 years. Chronic bacterial and viral infections cause neurobehavioral, neurodegenerative, psychiatric, autoimmune, and fatiguing illness. Love to share with you those resources. Again, if you want some immediate help, you can go right here to www.americashealer. I have a couple questions that I'm seeing in the chat. Hey, Dr. West, if I have an infection, isn't it just antibiotics and then I'm fine? And the answer to that is this. That's the standard allopathic traditional medical approach that doesn't work anymore. And here's why I say that. There's a lot of conditions and diseases, I feel, that are exacerbated by the improper use of antibiotics. And by the way, I think antibiotics absolutely have their time and place. It's that when we use them inappropriately that causes a problem. And really what happens is I love to help people either that haven't responded the way they anticipated to antibiotics or they're having a side effect. And what we want to do is build up the body and make changes. Okay, another comment that I see over here is how come everyone is saying that autoimmune and we have to decrease or remove inflammation is the pathway forward? You're not saying that? And my answer is no, I'm not saying that at all. I don't think one day that your joint said, I don't like it, or my immune system said, I don't like my joints, I want to attack them. Or I don't like my thyroid, I'm going to attack it. Or I don't like literally my nerves, or like I don't think that is at all. And so what I think happens is, again, we get infections in that area, like in the joints, we call it rheumatoid arthritis. I believe that rheumatoid arthritis is a slow-grade infection that gradually destroys and deforms the joints. And helping people to heal and improving their immune system helps them to get better. The reason I say that is for 25 years, when people came in, if you get their immune system to work better and it, quote, was autoimmune, you'd think that they'd be worse. And the answer is they get better. And I've done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. All right, you guys, that is our program. So far, the question answer period is literally this. If you have an infection, it's very common that you get autoimmune. By the way, if you improve the immune system, it helps with the infection. But I've seen so many autoimmune conditions go away, and it's not just the symptoms. You'll see the blood markers change. I've seen some MRIs change with multiple sclerosis. I've seen some white lesions that have gone away. I've also seen some white lesions that have stayed there, but the symptoms have gone away. And we just had a patient that was diagnosed with MS 20 years ago. And literally, we treated him aggressively with immune system stimulation infusions, the nerve reset therapy. No symptoms for 20 years. We're just getting a little titch back. We got to encourage the patient. You got to go back and follow the rules of health. They've deviated just a little bit. I expect to see a really good outcome and get another 20 years of symptom-free. I'm Dr. Jason West at the West Clinic. If you need help, reach out to us. I'd love to help, either a virtual program or a way to get you as healthy as possible. Let's make 2026 your best year. Dr. Jason West signing out, and I'll see you on the next live.